All right, we got Coach Brandon McGruder here in his 4th season as the head men's basketball coach, just coming off of the Frontier Media Men's Basketball Day. So I know you're going to get some repeated questions in this conversation from that, but why don't you tell me who you got next to you in your left and right with you?
I got Devin Griffin, a junior point guard, played for us last year, majority starter, and then Isaiah Smith, transferring from Cochise College.
Awesome. Well, let's start out with you, Coach. Can you talk about your coaches? I know you don't have any new coaches on your staff, which is usually a good thing. First year for you, right? Not to have to turn over anybody, so that's really good. What is that impact having to be able to return Coach Rodriguez and Coach Anderson, and what are their roles?
It's absolutely huge. The last couple of years having to hire new guys in August and also finish up recruiting. Made your summers a bit longer than I wanted it to be, but having these guys back has been tremendous. They work their butts off. Having them to be there all summer recruiting and holding things down as far as getting new guys in, making sure they get their dorms, their admittance, all that stuff has been huge. Coach Rodriguez does a really good job. He kind of runs our offense, has done a tremendous job in making improvements and adjustments into that, and as well as recruiting kind of the southeast Florida area, brought in some guys in there that I think they'll make an impact this year. And then Brody Anderson, he just kind of does everything else. He does anything from the administration side all the way to the logistics as far as travel and all of that. And he's just been a workhorse too. I mean, every single day he's getting better. He's done a tremendous job recruiting and also coaching and developing our JV program as well. So both those guys have been awesome. KJ Franklin is a second-year student assistant, and then Tyrell Rodriguez coming back. He's a former player, now coach. I think those two guys have a really good voice. As former players with us and now turned coaches, they kind of understand the aspect. They're a bit younger than me, so they can be able to relate to the guys a little bit more on that type of level. So I think it's really important to have that diversity in the staff. So we're looking forward to them growing as a coaching staff and seeing what we could do this year.
Well, that's really good to hear. Can you talk a little bit about your upcoming season and just what your outlook is for that?
The season is going to be a challenge. I think coming up, we have some home games that I'll see where we're at. Then we go off and play South Dakota State, and then we have UND to get us ready. And then we have Briarcliff. That's going to be a very tough game. Really good GPAC school coming in here, and so we're looking forward to that. I don't try to look too far ahead and get kind of lost in that, but I'm focusing on these next about 4 weeks and our progression and our growth as a team. So I think playing those teams will help us get ready, and I think we just need to focus on keep getting better every single day, and then joining the Frontier is going to be a battle every single night. There's not going to be a night where we can take off or take things lightly. We're going to have to play really well both nights in order to have a chance. So we're just looking forward to building big good habits right now and having those carry over.
So speaking of the Frontier, how does that affect your program and your schedule, travel? How is it going to be different than the North Star? More teams? What is the talent? What does that all look like for you guys?
Join the Frontier is going to be an amazing challenge, and it's going to come with a lot of feats. But I think that joining there, I think we'll get hopefully 4 teams into the national tournament. So that it may take the pressure off of not winning the regular season or tournament championship. And I think if you can compete and be in the top 3 or 4, I think you'll have a really good shot at making the national tournament. So I really look forward to that aspect. On the flip side, it's going to be, top to bottom, it's just going to be tougher. Obviously, you have the same teams that we had in the North Star. Now you add in some really good schools from the Frontier. So it's going to be a challenge every single night. But I think our guys are looking forward to it. I know we're looking forward to it as a staff. I think the travel may be probably the biggest concern, but it's broken down over, it's I think just once a month, so it's not terrible, but that's what comes with playing in this. So I think if our guys if that's their biggest complaint, I think I'll be just fine.
Right. Well, I know that you added a lot of recruits this fall. Talk about how many new recruits joined you and kind of what your roster looks like.
Well, we signed 13 guys this year, and I've been very pleased with all of them. I think that a lot of guys have shown their value and shown their skill throughout the process. Guy next to me, Isaiah Smith, has done really well this fall, along with a lot of others. Like I said, we have 13 of them that are able and willing to play. I think that this year's team's going to be unique in the sense that we'll play about 10 to 12 guys, and we're going to get after them, and we're going to try to make it as tough as possible in terms of pressure, pace of play, getting up and down the court. And I think having, be able to go 10 or 12 deep with not very much fall off from first group to second group is really going to be an advantage for us, and hopefully we can hopefully use that to win some games and wear some teams out.
So who are some of the kids that you graduated, and who are the players that are returning that are going to fill some of those roles, or newcomers that are going to have to step up and fill some of those roles of the kids that graduated?
I think two of the biggest names that probably come to mind, maybe three, will be J.J. White. He was first team All-Conference Defensive Player of the Year. A 2-year starter for us. London Williams was a first team All-Defense, second team All-Conference player. Those guys to replace them is going to be very hard. Not only what they did on the court, but as in terms of leadership and by stepping into roles. I mean, London came in here probably as a 3 and ended up his senior year playing the 5 for us. So having those type of guys that kind of put themselves over the team is hard to find. But I think we're finding that in these new guys, and hopefully they can come in and help fill those roles. Darren Jones was a guy too that we lost. Just in terms of rebounding and points that we'll have to get from somewhere. But I think a lot of guys have shown that they have the ability to play at to fill those spots. So we're just looking forward to these guys these next couple of weeks who rises to the top, and we'll play those guys. October 31st.
Yeah, and we're really close to your season and home opener. Can you tell us who you're playing? We're about 10 days away from that, right? October 25th and 26th, Saturday and Sunday, right?
That's
at
right.
Home. Talk about that and what you're looking for to get out of those home games. It's awesome to start at home for your season. So what's kind of your expectations playing them?
Opened up with Providence. We've opened up with them for the past few years, and it's going to be a really good test. I think they returned everybody from last year's team, plus they signed a few more guys that I think that will help them out. So it's definitely going to be a good test, but also it's going to be a good test for us to see where we're at. This is going to be one of the first times that we get to play somebody outside of a blue or white jersey, so to be able to have some fresh blood is going to hopefully kind of boost their energy, and then be able to play in front of the Louis League for the first time, especially for all the new guys. We're looking for that that big experience for them. But right now we're just taking it day by day and week by week. With a new team, essentially, you can't look too far ahead. Every day, we have goals that we have to set as a staff and as a team. So we're just trying to get better day by day, and hopefully by our first game we're ready to represent ourselves in the right way.
Well, Coach, we appreciate all of that. We're going to kind of switch to the players now. We got Devin and Isaiah with us. I know, Isaiah, you're new, obviously, but Devin, what are you most excited about heading into the Frontier? Obviously, it's going to be different than the North Star. The travel is crazy. It's a lot bigger. There's more teams, a lot of talent added to the conference. What's that excitement level for you guys?
I'm really excited. New conference, new teams to play. We got some longer road trips, but we'll just have to prepare that much more and be locked in that much more. It's, would say, a higher level of competition. Really good teams, they usually get 3 or 4 bids into the national tournament. North Star, we only got 1, so there's a lot of teams that can give us a battle any given night, so we're gonna have to be ready for it.
All right, Isaiah, I know. You're new, so you don't know much about the Frontier or the North Star.
Yeah, like both of you guys have said, the competition level, I'm excited to see where we stand in this talent pool, but also being able to come into a new conference and have nobody expecting anything from us is going to be big for us in a lot of ways. I think we'll surprise a lot of teams and a lot of people, but just to get the opportunity to knock off every team in front of us, I think is exciting for me and for us, and to just go out that every day. We always have something to fight for, because no matter how many wins we have within the Frontier Conference, the next team's going to be looking at us the same way.
Right, yeah. Well, kind of how has fall been going? Obviously, you guys just started preseason and not a crazy amount of practices under your belt that haven't maybe involved just running. Maybe you're using basketballs now at that point in your season. But can you describe how it's going and just the chemistry with the team? You got a lot of new guys, right? So how is that chemistry flowing and developing throughout the few practices that you have had?
So I would say it's going good, as you would kind of expect with 13 new guys at the start. It was kind of just a whole lot of, as you expect, like new people out there playing with each other. We had to figure each other out, but every practice I would say we're definitely getting better. Just knowing guys' spots, knowing guys' communication styles, all that kind of stuff that makes teams better. So day by day we're figuring it out and getting better.
Just like Dev was saying, there's stages to like the team chemistry aspect of it. First, like knowing what each other like to do and what they want to do, and then what they're expected to do, and then what we need them to do, and just going through all of those. It's going to be a continuous growing road and continuous learning curve. By the end of the season, obviously, we want to be able to have 15 guys thinking as one group, as one mind, as one being, and so that's the fight every day. I think as far as fall practices, Coach Mack has done a good job of making those difficult. A team that goes through fire together, like, comes out the other side stronger and more put together. So as far as that aspect, fall practices have been kind of rough, but but we're getting it together now, and we're every day is growing slowly but surely.
Right, so this one's going to be for Devin, kind of piggybacking on Coach. This was even all in the Frontier media conference day. You guys were talking about how he's challenging you guys and his late practices, early mornings, trying to prepare you for that. How are you, Devin, as a returner, expected to step up and be a leader, and how are you adjusting to that? You've had some experience here. You got a lot of new faces.
Yeah.
He's challenging you as a head coach. What are you doing to be a leader to make that work?
Well, I think just bringing a certain level of competition every day, that kind of gets everybody going. And also just having meetings with each other and whatnot. We don't want to have just 1, 2, 3 leaders. We want to see 15 leaders out there. That's a big thing as a team to come together. I think this is one of the most talented teams we've had in my time here. So if we all come together as one, I have high goals for this team. So.
Right, and so you're a leader that's a returner that's expected to lead, and then Isaiah, you have who obviously is a transfer, so you have some experience under your belt, and you're expected to come and lead. How do you get on returners like Devin? How do you get on his back to kind of go with the culture and go with the chemistry and the process? What's kind of your role as a leader that way?
Devin's done a great job of coming in and showing all of us the ropes, especially like us other leaders. Coming into a new spot, you can have guys who don't want to help in some ways and can be standoffish, but Devin wasn't like that coming in. He's like I said, he's been very open to letting us all contribute and learn in the same way. And then he's one of the most selfless guys on the team. So like just following his role in that and knowing that it's not always about you. It's about what we can do for each other, and like there's certain things in basketball, like setting a screen for somebody, that isn't always going to immediately impact you, but if you continue to do it, eventually it will get back to you. So just things like that, continuing to grow and learn from Devin and piggybacking off of him.
Well, we can kind of go into, this is an easy one to go into then, just obviously you guys being leaders and saying you got to piggyback off each other, and when you talk about culture and goals and things like that, your shirts say minimum expectation, max effort. Would you say that's a big focus for you guys this year, or would you say that's like your team kind of motto, or can you talk about your shirts and what that means to you guys?
I would say since my first year here was also Coach Mack's first year, so I think right from the jump that was kind of his motto, or like his standard. Like, you can't control some things on the court, bad shooting nights, turnover sometimes, but you can always control your effort. So every day that max effort brings the most competition level every day to practices. That gets us better and faster, I would say. So I mean, that's just the bottom line for us, max effort at all times.
Just piggyback off of that. A lot of times as people, we expect to be rewarded for things that we're supposed to do every day, and so this is just saying that in a way, like we're expected to bring max effort daily, whether we don't feel like it or we're not, or they don't expect it from us. That when going into this new conference, we're not going to be expected to do certain things, but that doesn't mean those are our goals for ourselves. And so that's just what these shirts say.
Well, we appreciate your time. We're super excited for you guys to open up in 11 days and at home. That's a great thing. Hopefully we'll pack out the Louis Lee. But thanks for having you guys, and you guys have a great one, okay? Thank you guys.
Thank you.
Go Comets!